celebrating together so joyfully. Words pour out from our kind souls. There is no place for inflated egos. This place is home to you and me. Surroundings familiar, a community. Let's write the words from our minds. All those adventures will be sublime. This group belongs to the member poets, caring and sharing those precious moments. Let's laugh together, then share some tears, emotions displayed without anxiety or fear. Quill and Parchment Society. Elevating poets, honoring art, enriching souls, celebrating community.
Hey, welcome everybody. Hey, Zach, what's going on, man?
Hey, oh man, I'm stoked as usual.
Oh, it's go time, isn't it?
Evening of poetry, absolutely.
We always get all jacked up before we go. And for those of you that don't know, Zach and I have gotten into a habit of having we call it a production meeting, and usually what it is us just conversing a little bit, and we talk about the show and what's coming up and what we should do and what we're thinking and stuff like that. But it's more just getting into the rhythm. So when we start this show, we're relaxed and ready to go. It's kind of a good trick, isn't it, Zach, that we kind of stumbled across.
Naturally, it gets one excited.
Yes. You wouldn't believe, guys, and you know, we're here to tell you how excited we are, because this is live, and the feeling is intoxicating. It is, because we want to do so well reading and commenting on the poetry, and our group, Zach, don't they just give us the best to deal with,
Always.
to read, to analyze? It's amazing the way we swing, you know, around and stuff like that. And this, guys, this is part of the community that we're all building together in the Quill and Parchment Society. And you are as much a part of it as Zach and me and Yumpy and Merv and Deb, the coordinators and stuff. We keep asking, and we'll keep saying, guys, when you feel comfortable, if you get ready to call in, you want to start doing this with us on occasion, drop in for a visit, get a hold of me. Get a hold of Zach. We will take you. Yes, we'll get a hold of Zach too. We'll get you started down the path, and then before you know it, you will be on here, and you'll be doing what we're doing. Because, guys,
there's a rush.
It's a rush. It is a buzz. We have a great time doing it. And we do it. We want to come off as appreciators of poetry, not professionals, because we're surely not that. I'll speak for myself and say I'm surely not that. And I'm sure Zach would say the same thing about himself.
Absolutely.
But we sure
No,
do
not
love
at
it,
all.
guys. We love it, and we love what you contribute to these shows. And this is just one part of what we're doing within our group. So the pressure's on for me today, Zach. I'm sitting here looking at my laptop, and the internet keeps showing poor, excellent, poor, excellent. So hopefully we don't have any issues from this, but if we do, we'll manage them and we'll get back to it. There's a few things to discuss about the community, which is growing. I think we're at 45 members now. 45. Isn't that exciting?
That's a good number.
It
It's a good
is.
number.
It's a good number.
Yeah.
We're not
Divisible by
outgrowing
5.
ourselves. Divisible by 5 and 9,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't as much fun. 9 isn't as much fun, but anyway, we're growing. I think at the right pace because it's not at all unmanageable. But Zach, what we were talking about earlier was the growth of the group and how we're getting such varied members. And it's fantastic. It's fabulous.
The range, right? The range of writers.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody has their kind of, way they lean. We've got rhymers, we've got free verse, we've got dark, we've got light, we've got all these philosophical poets and things like that. So we have a really nice smattering of the poetry community here. And that's on you guys. Thanks for joining us here and allowing us to do this. But within this community, it isn't always fun and all that. We do have some serious things, and we don't want to take too long, but we do want to mention one of our coordinators, Merv, has recently lost his sister. So our thoughts and prayers are with you, Merv.
Absolutely, Merv.
Take care of your family and all your stuff, and we're here for you when you're ready to come back to poetry and read and write and all that stuff. So everybody, keep that in mind with Merv. If you have a second, drop him a message and send him your condolences. That's the good thing about this community, isn't it, Zach? It is.
Yeah, we're all kind-hearted, and most of us. Merv told us on the board, so our group undoubtedly knows. So yeah, it's good to acknowledge what happened. That Merv, that to him to take the time he needs and feel better.
Yeah, as we all know, life isn't always fun and games. Sometimes we have to deal with these kind of things. So our thoughts and prayers are with you, Merv. Zach, are we ready to read some poetry now?
Oh, just about, folks. First, I want to direct your attention, whoever is listening, Parchies that are home and other people listening. I guess those who are in the group. You could find our episode where we're reading the poetry and such. That'll be the 6th from the top, right in the middle, roughly. So you can find it right there on the topic board. Looking forward to this. So yeah, let's get into some poetry.
Hey, Zach, I wanted to thank you too. I'm sorry to interrupt. I wanted to thank you for reposting the link to this show because I forgot to do that. I told you I was busy. I installed the water or garbage disposal and was going to get my daughter and stuff, and I had missed that. Thank you for pulling my slack there, buddy. Oh,
sure thing. Just that I always, it's a habit, I guess. You bet, man.
Yep.
All right. So I guess first up we have Lion Goutier's poem, and that is Genghis Khan. And I'll give that a read. Launched over ages of primeval forces, my nomadic ancestry calls out to me. Winds howl driven over rolling hills atop a ridge of rugged mountains. Beyond, vestiges of the long Silk Road. The Mongolian Empire looks back at me. The spirit of the great Genghis Khan runs feral forever through my veins. Mongolia and its harsh, wild wilderness, its barren lands and haunted past, drumming echoes of summoned spirits, unleash the wrath of heaving heavens. I'm more hoodlum with the vision. I'm a rebel at the helm of my said destiny. My brothers and I are born of a lineage that's jagged, ruthless, rich, and proud. Fierceness and freedom, integral to our DNA, will defend our land and way of life with brute strength and sheer intimidation. And spill blood, we write our history. Come hell, high water, feast or famine, the spirit of the great Genghis Khan runs forever through our veins. We'll round up the horses and harness voracious winds. Go out, protect, and safeguard at all costs. Wave our swords and hearts in still fear. Cast our thunder over hills and valleys. Earn respect for our ancestors' inherited land. A kingdom conquered piecemeal by a warlord. Father to our people and to our nation vast. A deep longing, larger than life, compels me to preserve my legacy against betrayal and conspiracy. Dark alliances with sights on pillaging and plundering. No more brutal bloodbaths and massacres. Neo-medieval Mongol tribes and clans united. The spirit of the great Genghis Khan, feral through my veins, forever runs. And that's the Mongolia that calls on back to me. End poem.
Oh, that's a good read, Zach. And first of all, I just want to say, I love historical pieces like this that are written the way this is. It's first person-ish, but it's a historical, ancestral, and all those things. So the points being touched on here about the Mongols and how they lived on the steppe out there. It was a harsh environment, and they developed a harsh lifestyle, a harsh nomadic lifestyle of hunting and all that. So they didn't really see borders except for their enemies, and they would attack. And they did not hesitate. They were a war tribe, a big tribe of warriors. And there was often a lot of infighting, especially when it came to the transition in power and stuff like that. But the Mongol hordes, they struck fear into China so much that, if I'm not mistaken, the Great Wall was built to keep the Mongol hordes on the steppe. And that is something that other cultures can't say, that they struck so much fear into a civilization that the civilization reacted by sealing itself off. Fantastic. And I love this piece because of the touching of the ancestral part of it and the historical part of it. And there's like a sense of pride to it that is really cool, because Genghis Khan specifically is the most well-known of the Mongol leaders, but there were also other Khans that came before and after. Were they significant or not? And I believe Genghis ended up dying. They didn't know if he was poisoned or if it was from alcoholism, if I'm not mistaken. Now I'd have to research to verify it, but I believe that's how he passed away, and it was under some real serious questions to the ending.
Right.
But I love this piece. I love this piece because it touched on so much of what the Mongols are historically. Zach, your thoughts? You got a lot of thoughts about this one too, don't you?
I was thinking, yeah, I was thinking about what you said, of course, about the history, just the history of, like the ancient Mongolia. I was focused on, the repetition of the blood. There's a lot of references to the blood of the warriors in this piece of the Mongols, and there's like a pride there. There's both the blood and spilt of the enemies and the blood of the people, the tribe itself, and the rivers run, and on both sides, and it runs feral forever. I like that phrase a lot, and that's repeated a couple of times to great effect in different sort of circumstances that kind of enhance the poem. I think. And Spilled Blood Rewrite Our History. There's another one. I like that too. All these references make there's a sense of like pride, like Bill said, for sure. Because of that, I think. I think like, yeah, it's just there's a lot of imagery associated with war, because the warlike hordes that descended on the lands. But I also like the speaker still is preserving a legacy of peace rather than endless pillaging. And I really like that with at the end, the tribes are united, and still the spirit of the Genghis Khan is, running through the veins, again, with references to blood at the end. And that's the sort of that historical pride that comes back to at full circle. And I really like that.
Yeah, I did too. It's funny because you keyed on that, the feral part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They appeared feral to the Chinese, but they were very well organized. They had their own culture and their own beliefs, and the way they went about things was based out of necessity, and it hardened them to the point that Chinese sophistication could not handle the hordes of Mongols descending upon them. And this poem was fabulous. I really loved it. It's a good start, isn't it, Zach?
Absolutely. It got me thinking.
I'm wondering what direction we go from here.
Oh, wow. Well, we're going to quantum physics, apparently.
Fantastic.
Stargaze wrote, if quantum physics was a boy, and that's your read.
Oh, well, we're changing gears for sure here. We're going from history to science. If quantum physics was a boy, I'd want to be with him. Call it admiration or attraction on a whim. And I'm pretty sure that we'd have some chemistry. Quantum physics is so interesting. So I love his company. I wish quantum physics was a boy. Then I'd have a lover every time I spend some time with him. It feels we were made for each other. I understand him very well. He interests me greatly. I'm naturally attracted to him. I feel it's quite innately. So if quantum physics was a boy, I'd like to be with him. Call it admiration or attraction on a whim. End poem. I love this one. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, this one, this one was kind of subtle, and it's the way it flowed, because it had like a parallel scheme to it. The way like the rhythm bounced, it was definitely like a little bit of meter going to it, rhythm wise. And I like the rhyme sort of, the hard rhyme sort of emphasized that and made it flow. And I really like the chemistry and science puns. Like we'd have some chemistry. I like that. I do. And especially, I think the last stanza, attraction on a whim, because, like, I think science, there's a lot of like information about forces of attraction and repulsion and physics and stuff like that. And this is like this is this mutual attraction, and I really like this. And this is like a really cool way to frame sort of an attraction to somebody. I think like through like appreciation of a subject and sort of a way to like a metaphor. It's like an extended metaphor. Science representing someone's love for somebody. I like that a lot. That's really cool.
I liked it a lot too, Zach. This was a sweet poem. It really was.
Yes.
Now I kind of look at it the other way. Okay. And with we've all heard the phrase, let your freak flags fly, right? Mm-hmm. This is unabashedly not being ashamed of being a nerd, being proud of the fact that we are fascinated. And I say this because Scarlett Scarlett is on the board, and we've had this conversation before, and we embrace the fact that we're nerds. We do. And that didn't used to be that way when I was young. When I was young, you had to be ashamed of it. Like, I'm tattooed and gray bearded and all that. And it's kind of, it's not a facade because it's not fake. It's who I am. But I am also a very unapologetic nerd deep down inside. I really dig things that cool people don't dig. Just like Stargaze here really loves the idea of quantum physics and probably gets soothed in mathematics and things like that. So she's saying, I love this as much as I would like to love a boy, but I haven't had a boy that I'm so attracted to as I am to this. That is what I get. That's right. Scarlett said, I'm 100% a nerd. Laugh out loud. Thank you, Scarlett, for backing me up. You remember that conversation. But yes, my take on this is being in love with the physics part of it, the quantum physics, and being fascinated with that and wanting to feel that from a boy at some point, but haven't come across it. But I think either interpretation is just as good, Zach.
I do too.
It
it's
to
just
a boy
a
she
different
knows.
one.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
There's that latitude in this piece that allows you to take it one way or the other. And
Right.
I love that you looked at it one way and I looked at it another, and they both work very well, because I was aha when you were talking. I was like, oh, I thought of it the other way. So well done. Really, really an enjoyable write and enjoyable read. Loved it. What do we got next, Zach?
We've got this title. Shyamala wrote Snuggles, the Prettiest Dragon. And I'm going to give that one a read.
Good luck. We're going all over the place today, guys. Going all over the place.
One sneezy day, the air went pop. A rainbow burst, then blit, drop, plop. Out tumbled Snuggles, sweet and bright, with flower horns and eyes of light. She twirled a bow, she brewed some tea, said chamomile is just for thee. Her giggle sounded soft as cream and smelled like clouds inside a dream. She makes me bands of flowers fair. Who says you can't wear blooms with no hair? Sneeze roared with joy. His sneeze went poof and painted sparkles on the roof. While Sneeze plays tag around the bed, she hums and ties a bow instead. They played duck, duck, goose till I grew tired. Their laughter kept my worries quiet. When stars peeked out, we'd sip and sigh, our teacups chiming lullabies. I close my eyes and drift away. Two dragons guarding dreams at play. And if you listen close at 3, you'll hear a sneeze, a giggle, and me. For magic grows and Snuggles agrees. The best adventures end with tease. End poem.
That was delightful. The image is so cute. That colorful dragon with a smile and flowers and stuff like that. This specifically put me in mind of a little girl with imaginary friends. Is what it puts me in mind of. And it's so cute in that way. It's so cute, and the rhyme helps tell the story and makes you smile. And you were giggling the whole way, Zach, and fighting it. I know you were, because I was biting my cheeks to keep from giggling out loud. The duck, duck, goose till I grew tired. This little girl's playing with her imaginary friends. Playing duck, duck, goose till she gets tired in my head. That's what I heard.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yes, tea parties, the whole deal. And it's funny because chamomile tea, right? And there's a teacup
Right.
there. So it's well written on the image. It really is. But it is so sweet and so comforting, I think, where you just smile. It made me feel younger, and I'm old as dirt. What are your thoughts, Zach? I enjoyed it.
Oh, I did too. This reminded me, like, sort of like of a Pixar movie. Like it kind of reminded me of Monsters Inc. almost, with the imaginary friends aspect of it. That's what it put me in the mind of, like, immediately. Like that if anyone's seen that's oh man. Anyway, this is just a different, like, this is just very dreamlike. I was very taken by the dragons in the dream, and sort of the speakers sort of playing with that imagery. And it's very airy and light and bright too. It's a light poem. And there's bright colors too. You can see those flowers, the blooms. There's just like an element of fairy tale bliss about it. There's bliss, like a floating bliss, and like a whimsicalness about it, whimsy. I like that. I really do. And it does take me back to like being a kid, like those kid games. It just like I think my favorite part is just the ending. Really, like if you close your eyes and drift away, you could just just in the distance you could barely hear it, but there it is. The sneeze and the giggle, the sounds. And I really enjoy that. The sensory
I was kind
details.
of the same way. I was the same way at the end there, Zach. That's what I pictured, a little girl going to bed after wearing herself out playing Duck, Duck, Goose with her imaginary friends. And she's going to bed and she's giggling all the way till she drifts off to sleep. It's a wonderful feeling. And two, just to add to the show content, guys, you guys really bring us stuff to read that we enjoy, and we never know. This is why me and Zach have agreed on cold reading everything live.
Like
because we're so surprised. It is the ebb and flow, the way we go. We've had science, we've had history, and then we've had whimsy, and we've only read 3. What's next, Zach?
All right. Next we have Scarlet Knight's poem, A Dream of Flight and Falling. And that's yours.
Okay, here we go. I have this dream sometimes where I stand at the edges of a cliff, bottle in hand, watching the stars twinkle and beckon, ocean waves crashing below. I blow out a last puff of smoke, take a last sip of the bottle, and step forward. I plummet at breakneck speeds. I close my eyes to the jagged rocks racing upward, crushing reality of this decision, cracking my rib cage, lungs shrieking, heart pounding, breath binding in my throat. But there is no splat, no pain. The wind keeps rushing through my hair. Jet black crow wings carry me far away, dancing with the darkness, clinging to the gentle pinpoints of starlight. And I'm not falling. I'm flying, climbing up and up through clouds, reaching for the stars, grabbing at what I can never have. And for just one moment, one beautiful, happy moment, I am where I want to be. My wings cramp. Black feathers fall away, drifting like dark leaves. But I still face the sky as I plummet to the waters below. Have you ever noticed how beautiful the stars are when you're so far from land that no light reaches you? And even as I plummet, I laugh out. And I open my eyes as the jagged rocks tear through my flightless form. End poem. Ooh, we sure went a different direction there.
Yeah.
Up, down, all about. Man. We went all sorts of different directions. You going to go first, Zach? You ready?
Sure. Yeah. This one, this is a different sort of dream. It's pretty grim. Bottle in hand, immediately just watching the stars beckon. That's eerie. Watching stars beckon. That's like almost that like they're waiting for someone to ascend. In a way, and that's what the speaker wants to do. As he stares into the abyss, or a speaker rather stares into the abyss and plummets, and it's a very sensory sort of plunge, in sort of that way that only a dream could bring, like slow motion, and there's nothing. The speaker doesn't feel any pain, but like it's sort of it's really suffocating still, and claustrophobic. And it almost reminds me when the speaker kind of like becomes sprouts wings essentially, and like that's the fall is essentially the splat. I mean, is essentially not skipped, but there's a transition. Like you already know that it's like this is post death, and I think like this is the saddest part was when the speaker was literally reaching for the stars but couldn't grab anything in the process, and then flew back to Earth. Like it almost reminded me of Icarus a little bit, but this is like almost this is like the moon version instead of the sun. I really enjoyed this. This was a dark poem, but it puts you in a mood. Really enjoyed it. It was devastating, and wow, laughing
well
out.
said, Zach.
Yeah.
It was devastating. I mean, as I was reading it, I was like, because there was. I want to start with, first of all, going back and saying, look at what we have read. Look at what we have read in the poems, and this is what I love, guys. Zach and I were just talking about. I told him the next time I was going to submit a dark poem because I didn't want our group to be afraid of submitting darkness to be read. Zach and I love reading darkness. This was a very good read that I enjoyed, and I know you did too, Zach. I heard what your comments were because of the emotional journey you were on, the way it went to not insecurities, but there's a repetition to it. And then I was reading the author's notes while you were commenting too, Zach, and it says, this is a recurring theme in my life to the point that I've made multiple drawings of this scenario. If I could be something inhuman, it would be a crow, for then I could truly fly away. So this is actually hopeful in a dark way. There's hope in a dark way. And I really dig that, because to put out hope in a dark themed poem is something that is hard to do. Well done on that, for sure. And the descriptions, the falling, the plummeting, and all that, it feels very well described, like the writer, Scarlett, has had this dream time and time and time and time again. And I believe I can't draw for anything, but if Scarlett can draw, like she said, she can draw this scene, this very scene over and over again. And it is something that, as a young person, you work through those things in your life, and then they normalize, and you learn to deal with them, and you face them, and all that stuff, and you grow up, and it's just a part of who you are. You realize that there's no abnormality. We've all had dark thoughts, dark dreams. You can't control those things. It happens. It's just part of who we all are. So I like this. Darkness is oddly comforting, and that's hard to take in sometimes when darkness is that comforting.
I think I got like a different, like when you added that hope to it at the end. I didn't read that at first, but when you I looked like when you read into it a little bit deeper at the end, I think I picked up on that it was more of a soaring sensation than plummeting at the end. I really enjoyed what you said.
Now, you think back to the last thing we read on there from Scarlett. What was it? Do you remember? I remember what it was.
Ooh.
It was the blackbird goldfish.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Where she duped us. That was her right that duped us there. And it took forever to figure out all the way through the right that it was a friggin' goldfish, not a blackbird. This one surprised me in the same way, but, a different context. So well
Absolutely.
done, and an enjoyable read. And don't be afraid of the darkness, kids. It's got a place too.
All right.
What do we got next, Zach?
Next up, we have Joe J's piece, and that's entitled, What is Self-Love? And I'm going to give that a read. I've been asked many times, what does self-love feel like? Or, what is self-love? It's knowing you are perfectly you, accepting oneself as is, looking into the mirror, smiling back at its reflection, taking care of your own well-being, including one's mental health, forgiving yourself for past mistakes, letting go of negative thoughts, giving yourself a pat on the back where it's truly deserved, followed by a heck yeah from your internal cheerleader, knowing that you could be happy alone in the absence of others, knowing that you are worthy. That is what self-love is. When self-love is achieved, you'll treasure loved when received, distinguishing the gift from the need. And Paul.
Well read, Zach. Sorry, I was typing a comment. I got caught halfway through it. So I was listening to you read that, and I was reading along. And it's funny, Zach, because this is a poet you and me I mentioned earlier about being part of the group and how I was friends with Joe and all that stuff. And I appreciated most about her outward personality that says, this is who I am. And that's what this poem does. There is a wisdom that only comes with age. So you have to find yourself and get comfortable with yourself. And Joe is saying that she's there. She's at that place. She understands what self-love is. She's comfortable with being herself. Self-love is not a negative thing at all. You have to love yourself, I believe, before you can truly love somebody else. Because if you don't love you, it's a lot tougher to put you out there to be loved. So there's a wonderful wisdom that is only earned through life's harshest lessons, probably. You only get it right one time. You only get romantic love right one time in your life. And do you know, Zach, the only way that you know whether you got it right or not is when one of you are gone. That's it. And that's an amazingly dark thought that I've always had since I've matured and discovered how to love myself and love other people in ways that are healthy and appropriate. And that's what this says. I really like this poem. Now, again, I'm going to go back to the contrast between each poem in this show. Amazing. It's amazing that we're contrasting like that and going up and down. And guys, these are the way they're submitted. Zach and I don't change the order. We move them you move them from the reading list, don't you, Zach, in order that they're put there. And we read them just like you submit them. And it's a beautiful thing. Love it. Love the
always
way
arranged.
Your thoughts, Zach?
Always nice.
Always arranged.
Yeah. Oh, my thoughts, right. So
I was rambling on. Sorry, Zach.
Not even. No. This one is I like this one a lot because the speaker is unabashedly themselves. It's like there's self-awareness here and acceptance, 100%. Taking care of oneself and loving oneself it's not selfish, but like a key part of being selfless, because that, like Bill said, enables you to spread that love out to other people because you're bettering yourself in the process. And I like this. This is a really positive piece. Like I just like that. Letting go of negative thoughts. Like really just not necessarily acknowledging, it's acknowledging the good and the bad at the same time, like everyone, like the warts and all, I guess, and smiling back at the reflection, like loving oneself, like truly smiling. That's for me, honestly, that's kind of hard to do, smiling at my own reflection, but I'm learning how to, and that's taking time, but I'm learning how to do that. And this poem kind of is a reminder for me in that respect, and I really like that. So thanks for that.
Yeah, it's a good pick me up there in the middle of our show, isn't it, Zach?
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder where we're going from here.
Next up we have Mike Horsfall's poem, and that's "Survive." That's your read.
Mike Horsfalls, who is our poet of the month, guys. Okay, so here we go. And now the season turns. Edges of leaves tremble, begin to risk their orange, their brown, a sense of wind's complaint to unclasp what clings. Flowers dare their final gestures, a letting, a permission, petals losing to more of sky. And this, dusk's long-handed reach, folding its darker syllables over the bright edge of evening, undoing an empire called light. The air braids itself tighter, carrying warnings unseen, a web of frost spun in the breath of night, each thread pulled slow as thought undone. Stars quiver wide-eyed in their velvet scaffolds, watching winter open her long pale fingers to the horizon. Something in the watching comes alive, a kind of tension, a breath held too long, the earth preparing to hush itself into a sleep so vast, even its roots forget their climb. Underfoot, the soil murmurs, a blueprint of frost, veins learning how to embrace the cold, how to carry the world without song, without bloom, how to hold still enough to survive. End poem. There we go. Your thoughts?
I just, this one, I like this was a seasonal transition from fall to winter, and this was another nocturnal piece. I really like this. Mike likes, I really like Mike's take on like the night, and this one is no exception. This one is just a very interesting transition from fall to winter. You could just you could just sense the air getting colder and the edges of the leaves getting crispier. And some of these descriptions are turns of phrase are really cool. Like veins learning how to embrace the cold. I really like that one. And it's in watching winter open her long pale fingers to the horizon. You can see like a tree do that, like without leaves. I really like that. And of course, stars are mentioned here too, in various ways. And in the winter, they take on a different quality. It's my favorite season. And this one, I feel like this poem emphasizes some of what I feel about the winter, how I like the cold, like the chilliness, and the scenery too. Is I could see the scenery very vividly in the night. You could see like the ice and sort of reflecting, gives everything a nice sheen. And this poem is nice. I like that. Very cool.
Yeah, it is. It is really cool, and it gives everything a nice sheen. That's well said, Zach. I appreciate the way you ended there, because I started thinking about this, and clearly this is a very vivid description of the changing of fall to winter, I believe. So the description is of fall, and the turns of phrases that Mike uses, it really taking some unrelated things and making them related with that little his description of the nighttime and stuff like that. It isn't dark, it isn't scary, it isn't ominous. It's very vivid. It almost brightens the night in a weird way. And I think I agree with you on that point, Zach. But his turns of phrase here really took me to a place where this poem, I interpreted it as the change of fall to winter, but it could be a broader scope too. It really fits in kind of an end of the world kind of thing and how to survive too. Hunker down, hunker down and dig in and wait for the storm to go, for the snow to melt. But there's so many literal things in here about the soil, about the leaves, about the flowers going away, and all that stuff. It does keep it grounded. You have to use a little bit of imagination to get out there towards where I went with it. But I think I was dreaming along with the read. So, I enjoyed it for that because it is a very, very great description and turn of phrase for how to describe the change from fall to winter. And to title it Survive, maybe that's why I kind of went to End of the World or whatever, apocalypse. And it wasn't that violent, but it's more like a quiet apocalypse, I think, which kind of worked for me. But it was very enjoyable to read his turn of phrase and how he put things together that didn't necessarily match until he put them together the way he did. The turn of phrase is excellent on this. Love the piece. What do we got next, Zach?
So next up, we have Air of Ease piece, but I think I accidentally the link that I posted it cut off at the end, so I can't upload the poem. It won't, like, I just see the poetess's front page rather than the poem itself. So that's
how about we do this, Zach? We move forward here and we see if we can get Hair Levy's poem at the end. Is that okay?
I don't know though, because like we just have like the page rather than the poem, if that makes sense. But
yeah, right.
Okay,
it's her link. I got you. Okay. Do you remember what the title of it was by chance?
I do not.
Oh, we apologize for this, but these things are going to happen, Zach. So let's move forward.
Okay.
What do we got?
Next up, we have Equine Anne's poem, and that is The Heritage Preservation's Tale. And I believe that's my read.
Yep.
Is that your read? Okay.
It's yours.
Okay. The Heritage Preservationist goes to Canterbury on a horseless coach. She takes a laptop with charger for when the shrine she does approach. She wears period dress from the time when Geoffrey Chaucer wrote his book. She wants to visit Thomas A. Beckett's shrine and really have a look. She photographs the artifacts with the camera on her mobile phone. She does her research and writes a report about it before she could carry out plans of her own. Now she's been seen and photographed and wrote about, and she could go her way. She could go shopping, have a latte and muffin, and really enjoy her day. She has a complete week of rest and relaxation there. The hotel has lots of good facilities, and it's a good job it isn't bare. She watches history and antique programs on TV and enjoys her meals in the plush hotel, which was the best place to be. On her way back home, she imagines what it would be like to travel there in Chaucer's time and hope her horse missed the dike to take a full week to get there and back without no time for a break. Only for food and sleep for herself and the horses before their legs did ache. No running water for her to have a bath. No flushing toilets. That wouldn't have been a laugh.
So I feel like somebody may have gotten carried away in a book they were reading here. that's what it comes off as. And I know Anne is well read. She reads quite a bit and all those things. So she's speaking of what sounds like a vacation that I believe didn't actually happen, but was in her mind. She was in the book that she was reading. And that's a wonderful thing, to take yourself that deeply into something you're reading. It's a compliment to the writer, for one, that they can bring you to that place. But this is so sweet and fun and real. It almost pulled me in that way too, where I was there too. So I felt like the scenery was enough to, the descriptions of the scenery was enough to draw me in there. And she photographs the artifacts with the camera on her mobile phone. When that line, that adds to the fact that I believe the writer was there. So that line actually pulled me in deeper to the vacation holiday part of it. But I believe it came from a book, because she referenced to write a report about the book. So interesting stuff. Well done, Anne. It's an enjoyable read and it was fun. Your thoughts, Zach?
Fun was the right word. And like a sense of like curiosity too, of the speaker, visiting, like just a sense of adventure. I think and I think that um, Chaucer, the Canterbury Tales has that sense of adventure too that the speaker shares. And I feel like I could live vicariously through what the speaker was saying in her words. The way she kind of like put herself in that time period almost. Like I felt like she was like almost imagining like she was there at the time, like um and she's so absorbed into it, and then she's like, meanwhile everything else is kind of going around her, like a different sort of scenes revolving in the background where she really is at the time, instead of reading the book. I think like some of this is in her head, this image of where the Canterbury Tales is taking place, but really she's at a hotel too, and she's using the book as a way to like sort of travel back in time while she sort of enjoys the hotel, like it relaxes there, and it's kind of like have that all in a poem. It's an escape within an escape, really. You get like the vacation, and then you get the added escape of the book, and that's really cool. I like that.
An escape within an escape. That's well said, Zach. I appreciate that perspective. So what do we got next?
All right. Next up, we had Yumpy's Piece, and that's Milo's Urban Jungle Blues.
You seen the picture, didn't you?
Yeah.
When you opened it up, you seen the picture.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
Guys, this one is definitely worth taking a look at if you're following along. The monkey. It's so cute.
I saw the monkey.
And so pathetic, too. He just looks like he's had enough, doesn't he? Okay, I'm sorry, Zach. What's the title of this?
Oh, Milo's Urban Jungle Blues.
Okay, and I'm going to try to read this one. I'm sure I'm going to be giggling all the way through. Meet Milo, explorer, philosopher, accidental tourist. After mistaking a subway map for a jungle trail, he left the Amazon with a dream. A backpack full of granola bars and zero clue what a Metro card is. His compass, decorative. His travel guide, Yelp reviews. His plan, vibes only. Now he's stranded in New York City, 5 days into a soul-searching pilgrimage that's mostly involved. Overpriced hot dogs, being chased by a gang of pigeons in Central Park, and one emotionally scarring encounter with a Times Square Elmo, who whispered, "Want a photo?" like a threat. He tried to meditate in a subway car, but someone thought he was doing TikTok content and handed him a ring light. He hasn't slept since Wednesday. His beanie's seen better days. His sneakers have blisters, and his eyes say, "I came for enlightenment. Got bed bugs instead. Should have never stayed in that sleazy motel." He's not mad. He's just disappointed. Still, Milo marches on, because in this concrete jungle, even a grumpy monkey knows, if you can make it here, you can definitely question all your life choices somewhere else. Or as Sinatra would say, and if you can make it there, I'm going to make it anywhere. It's up to you. New York, New York. Milo adds, preferably somewhere with less sirens and more snacks. Then came the final straw. He mistook a food truck for a meditation booth. Sat cross-legged on the curb, eyes closed. Woke up in a BuzzFeed article titled, Top 10 Strangest Things Seen in Soho This Week. He was number 2, right behind guy walking ferret in a tuxedo. And so, with his last granola bar crumbled at the bottom of his pack and Google Maps refusing to reroute, Milo looks to the sky and mutters, "I came to find myself. Instead, I found 17 Dunkin' Donuts and a vague sense of doom." Cue jazz, fade out, roll credits, the end. End poem. That was delightful.
That was really funny. Yeah.
Go ahead, Zach.
Yumpy's Grumpy Monkey.
I love
Yeah.
the rhyme.
Yeah, Milo, right? I mean, I like the reference some of these turns of phrase, like concrete jungle. I like that. Getting lost within a monkey getting lost within a concrete jungle, and he's a smart monkey. And it's a character study of like, hold on just a second.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pick up where Zach left off, and he can take over.
I apologize.
You're okay, Zach. Things happen. We're good.
Okay, so yeah. Anyway, yeah. There was a the monkey was this was a new age kind of monkey. There was like pop cultural references to like different like internet culture, like the monkey was into somehow, or not into, but rather into him, I guess. It's a BuzzFeed article, and people thinking that he's doing TikTok content, but he's really just meditating and vibing, as it were. I think that I really enjoyed that. The just the idea of like this monkey getting lost in New York, and ending up in like an article, like that's it. Like he kind of goes through this journey along the way. And he's a smart monkey too. He could read. He could like navigate, and he's got depth. He's got thoughts and feelings. He's an emotional monkey. I would be too, probably, if I was stuck like that. Man, oh man, I like that piece.
I did too, because first of all, after I got done reading it, when I was processing it through the thing, I thought this is kind of something that would fit in like the New Yorker or something like that. One of those highbrow. I don't mean that, but I mean it's very intelligent as far as the way it's written. And the perspective is so dumbed down with the monkey, that is a metaphor for everybody that you take me. I come from a town of about 11 or 12,000 people. You stick me in downtown New York City, I'm going to look like a monkey out of place, and I'm going to be grumpy. I will not be happy in downtown New York wandering around. I'll feel lost. I'll feel constricted. I'll feel all these things. Because I've been in big cities before, and it's not my cup of tea. It's not where I belong. But I like how, first of all, he took this photo prompt and he expounded on it so far. The city line is in the background. Okay, so I didn't even really think about the city. I just thought about Milo and what adventure he was going to be on. And boy, he sure was on a great adventure. But all these things that are from modern times are assaulting him. And my favorite part of this piece was that Milo was only the second strangest thing seen that week. Not the strangest thing. A monkey walking around was not the strangest thing you'd see in New York City. I felt like that was really poignant to making the piece satirical. It is. It's satirical. And that is so much fun to me. 17 Dunkin' Donuts and a vague sense of doom. That's exactly the way I would feel. I would run into 17 Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or whatever. And I would be, oh my God, this is the end. I got to get out of here right now. That's how I would be. So this was very relatable to me. And I liked the tone of it. The tone of it was very tongue in cheek and very enjoyable. And to end it with the end in caps, perfect. Just like, blah, dead. It's over. So well done. It was a fun read. Just as I assumed when I looked at the picture, Zach, and you seen the picture and thought the same thing as me. So where are we going from here?
Next up, we have SKN's piece, and that's "We Remain Tethered in a Garden." And I'll give that a read. Camellias stitched into my cuffs. A butterfly flutters by your fading pulse. Love lingers, planted, preened, plucked. Embalm.
Aw. You guys are bouncing us around all over the place like rubber balls. We go through that funny thing with Yumpie, and then we get really serious and start talking about love and stuff like that. This is such a short piece, but it has some beauty to it, just some real beauty. I think I said all out loud when the reading was over. But I mean, what else? What else can you really say? I'm going to point this out again. SKN. That is an acronym for sweet, kind, nice. And SKN writes this way. There's always just a beautiful kind of way that she writes, and everything that she has produced that I've read or had the privilege of hearing read. And this is a beautiful piece about love that is well taken care of, I think is what the point is. The love is definitely well taken care of. And I like that. It was a beautiful piece. And the prompt is beautiful too. Zach, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this one was it was beautiful. It was also sad, because a butterfly, that second line, a butterfly flutters by your fading pulse. That, I think someone's dying, or a love is dying, or it could be literal. It could be literal, but it also could be the love. I think I thought it was tragic that way, and the love lingering like a plant. Like it's well cared for, but I think it's bloomed, and it's also essentially and at the end of its life, maybe, because it's been planted, preened, it's already been taken care for, and then it's been plucked at the end. So that ending, that plucked part, I think that there's like a little bit of like wonder what if that could mean. I think that's that piece, that's like a keepsake almost of that person who might not be there. The Carmilla stitched into the cuffs, as it were. Yeah, I thought that was a sad piece. Yeah.
That's funny, Zach. I appreciate you pointing out the word fading, because I gleaned right past that. I was smiling. I was smiling at the love that was well taken care of and all that. And that doesn't mean that it isn't a happy thing, but fading clearly implies that it's coming to an end one way or another. So there was a hint of sadness, and I'm glad you pointed that out. What do we got now, buddy?
All right. We've got The Lion King, and that is entitled Gulliver's Shame. And that's yours.
A little bit longer piece this time, so we'll have some more to think about, I think. I was the garbage of great America, thrown into ocean, drifted to the eye of Bermuda, found myself in the middle of the glorious kingdom of dwarfs, which I smothered to ground with my smell and stupidity. I enslaved a paradise by saving her from a fire. I taxed them with servitude, with the expense of their peace. I sent them to their doom with their joy and enjoyment, and I drank my coffee at the sight of ashes. They built my house for the sake of myself, instead of building forts against their eternal enemy. They stopped being real men and women and let foolishness be free in their relationships. They killed God and tradition and replaced them with their instincts. They stopped being proud of their authentic history and shifted their focus on my ridiculous story, all devoid of truth and authenticity. They demolished their artistic buildings and erected boring skyscrapers instead. They demolished the hierarchy of worth and replaced with the equality of worthlessness. All because of me, out of my boredom and egoism. I had turned Lilliput into small America, a man-made empire of shadows and dust. In the depths of darkness, I saw the light. General Edward Edwardian, the shadow governor of Neo Blefusca, saw my evil and my destruction with his wisdom, took my country back from me with my technology and his honor. My friends lost her love, out of her thrilled desire, and I was sent to a very beautiful place. When I woke up, I saw the shiny face of Demiurgos, became her toy, pulled with force and desire, swung between death and life, hatred and love, found the serenity in the absence of myself, until Horatio called me back to his land, to betray his land again altogether, fought against Optimus Prime, defeated him with one smash. All pointed fingers to General Edward, to blame him with treason while betraying themselves. He did not lose a drop from his glory and victory, residing in his face, shining with his manhood. He defended a land that desired her doom. He nourished his beautiful princess, who is a cheater by heart. Lilliput and Blefuscu never mattered to him. He was the man of the system, man of God. General Edward is not a traitor. Instead, he tried to save his traitor from her demise. All because of me, out of my boredom and egoism. I had turned Lilliput into small America, a man-made empire of shadows and dusts. I was the garbage of great America thrown into ocean, drifted to the eye of Bermuda, found myself in the middle of the glorious kingdom of dwarfs, which I smothered to ground with my smell and stupidity. On the day of their reawakening, they will shout out with their joy that death to Gulliver, death to America, and long live Neo Blefuscu. End poem. So I did finally get there. Just read the author's notes, Zach. Did you go down and read them?
I did, yeah. This was to me. This was like a modern reinterpretation of Gulliver's Travels. It says I guess the film, it references the film, and this was an epic piece. This was like that had like a whole narrative, and a protagonist sort of thrown into this ridiculous situation. I mean, some of these lines too, I like. I like especially the first and the last stanza, how they mirror each other, and they come full circle that way, and everything in between is just this narrative of a man who I think he learns what, like, he has this conception of what he thinks America is, but when he arrives there, he's kind of disgusted, really, at the land that's been like wiped out, and all these boring skyscrapers around, replaced by sort of this laziness and worthlessness. And I think like that's what Jonathan Swift and the director of the movie, that's what they were going after. They were going after. They were sort of writing the sign as this is satire. It's just kind of that sort of same satire that's like kicking the underbelly of what's wrong with society. And I like how it puts it sort of like it veers back and forth a bit. There's a sense of doom about it too, because by the end of it, I feel like the speaker or the protagonist has been corrupted, essentially, and just has nothing, doesn't want anything to do with anything. I was the garbage of great America. Was the garbage of great, yeah, and it's just on the day of the reawakening, I guess. There's like I guess there's like a ironic joy at the end of it. And it's kind of scary that way. And like there's like the rise of a monarch too at the end, and there's like an ominous sort of nature to it, very much so, and that this like succumbing to evil at the end, and it's not a happy ending.
It sure isn't, Zach. And this is the kind of piece as I was reading it, not just because of the length. Okay. So it was a longer poem, but it needed to be that length, I think, to get where he was going with it, because there is this kind of giving up at the end. It's like, well, que sera, sera. This is what it is. We're dealing with it now. I'm just part of what's wrong now, instead of part of the solution. I've just become part of the problem because the futility of the fight is just too much, is what it seems like to me. So there's that kind of a tone to it. But to do the Gulliver's Travels, to do that, and it's well known and well written, but he's not talking about the travels in this. He's talking about his shame. So Gulliver, what did he do? He destroyed where he was, even if it wasn't intentional. Just because he was bigger than the little people and the little buildings, he was knocking them over and destroying them, and all that. And that's what I think this is getting to. And I love the way it was written. It wasn't frantic or manic or anything like that, but it changed rhythms so much that it seemed almost mirroring the craziness, that is causing the futility, that people are destroying everything, and all we're doing is putting up skyscrapers. So there was a point in time when I started hearing a song in my head by the Eagles. And I always forget the title of the song. And it starts out, they came from Providence, the one in Rhode Island. Anyway, but it's about how man is ruining everything, how men are ruining everything. And there was this beautiful environment that trees forever and all this stuff is there. And then man comes and all they want to do is put up ugly boxes, and destroy it, change the environment, not for the betterment of everyone, but for their own egos. And he mentioned ego over and over, egoism, several times in this piece. So it made perfect sense, and it clicked to me there. This is a piece of saying what's wrong. There's futility. Like you said, Zach, the underbelly. It was kicking on the underbelly in the soft spot. And I liked it. I liked it for that. It was a very enjoyable read. And it's probably a piece that if it was read 3 or 4 times, you're going to get more out of it.
Right.
So where are we at now, Zach?
Next up, we have LOL's piece. 2 L's rather at the end. And that's This House and You. And I'll give that a read. That's a creepy photo. The walls lean close as if to pry, while you're away with one more lie. Locked in this place, lost in my head. This house and you fill me with dread. The windows leer with sullen spite. Their glass, once clear, denies me light. I strike the pane, it splinters through, and still there is no sign of you. The roof now strains a frantic beat, a pounding pulse that spells defeat, to crush my will, to sap my strength, to keep me here at any length. How I would move at your command, but in this maze of sinking sand, I feel the pull too strong to bear, trapped in this house and you don't care. I ache for freedom, crave the sky, yet rooms like tombs trap air so dry, alive with shadows, ghosts and cries. They hold my truth, my soul, your lies. This house that you and I called home, I'd burn it down, then wander, roam. But like you, it still owns my heart, and I would die if we should part. And poem.
Going to end with some darkness. Before I comment on this one, I'm going to go back. The song I referenced was The Last Resort by the Eagles. I don't know why I could never think of that name, but it bugged me. As soon as I went silent, popped in my head. So let's go on to This House and You. This read of, impending breakup. is what it sounded like. But the way it ended, it's not happy. There's just no happiness here. It doesn't. It seems like there's memory and all that, but it's referring to the home and personifying it in the relationship sense that is coming to an end. This house and you fill me with dread. So the association is a person with the home. And if there's that lingering pain, that doesn't go away. Some of the lines, the windows leer with sullen spite. They're sad and spiteful, sad and angry. The roof now strains a frantic beat. There's so many good lines in this that describe the connection between the home and the person. And there's a negative connotation to both. So, in the end, what makes a home is the people in it. It isn't the structure. But when there's a negative connotation, you apply it to that home, and then it all kind of melds together. It's like a mashup of the two things. One reminds you of the other, and the other reminds you of the one. So this is a good piece, I think, for that reason, because it pulled that out of me, personifying the home as something that there's a growing dissatisfaction with, and mirroring the relationship. So it's a good piece, and I like that. And actually, the picture and the piece is good for, I know we're past Halloween, but it was submitted before Halloween. So what are your thoughts, Zach?
Yeah, this one, it's just a dark one to go out on for sure. I think what struck me the most was the personification of the windows kind of leaning inward like eyes. And the way they were looking was not so great at the people inside. It was a broken kind of home, and it was sad. The event that describes why the relationship between these two has soured, that's sort of unclear, but I like that. It's like that. There's more of a disconnect that way. And I think that serves the poem well. There's definitely a disconnect, and the sense that nothing's right, but yet they're going at it anyway. They're still there's trying to make things right, but they won't, no matter what they do, and it's just not going to end well. I don't think they're in the process of it's not going well, going kind of downhill. And there's still like this mutual like nostalgia almost that's kind of almost bitter, and it's a sad piece, stifling, and it's like they want to be somewhere else but can't, but they're trapped, and for whatever reason it just owns them. They don't have their lives anymore, really. It's eerie.
Apparently, I'm going to have to listen to some Eagles, because now, after the thrill is gone, it's going through my head. I enjoyed listening to your comment, Zach. These things are, it's so neat, isn't it? To
always
read, and you guys trusting us to read and, analyze your pieces and try to get in the mindset that you're in and see what you're writing it for and the perspective and stuff like that. It's so wonderful to have that privilege. It is. Me and Zach we can never thank them enough. Zach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even when things happen, like today, we didn't have the length for Hair Levy's piece. Now, I wouldn't feel comfortable just picking one out to read that way. So our apologies, and these things will happen, but we're doing everything we can to make sure everybody gets a good run, and it's out of love. We love doing this, don't we, Zach?
Absolutely, all the time.
So as a matter of fact, we'll do it again next week. How about that?
Oh, perfect. I'll be looking forward to that.
You feel good about doing it again next week, and we'll see. And guys, we want to talk to you too. All of you Parchies, don't be afraid, to reach out to us if you have considered at any point in time wanting to join us on air. It's easy to do. We'll walk you right through it. We'd love to have some more guests in here because Zach and I can do this like this for as long as you guys are willing to put material in, but we would love to have some other opinions and some other input in what we do. All in all, it was a great bunch of poems again, wasn't it, Zach?
Yes,
you
indeed.
giggle every time I cue the music.
I can't help it.
Every time I cue the music, you giggle. So, if you guys can't tell by Zach's giggle and by the music playing, that's the end of our show. That's the end of the content. So, guys, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you from the bottom
thanks,
of
Zach.
my heart. And
Thank
you too,
for
Bill.
joining me here, Zach.
Yeah.
It's always a
Always.
pleasure, always a joy. And I really appreciate the fact that you get different things out of the poetry than I get. And
Oh,
we
me
share
too.
that together. And
It
it
helps.
opens me up.
Me
It
too.
does.
I
And
can see things from
I-
your perspective, and likewise, I feel like.
I feel like it makes things just so much better for both of us in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Merv said we need to write an outro song, Bill. Something like Gilligan's Island. Now it's time to say goodbye. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you again next week. Zach, thanks again, man.
All right, Bill. You too, man.
Uh-huh.